Yes, who is it?
Miss Jessamine to see you, Mr. Connor. I told her you weren't to be disturbed, sir, but she insisted.
Very well, show her in. Told you never to come here, Gigi.
I know, Jeff, but when you didn't phone this morning, I started imagining things. I've been almost crazy.
What was there to phone you about?
Well?
Everything's going the way we planned it. We'll fly to New York tomorrow, slip aboard the boat, and be married by the captain on the way over.
Did you get the emerald?
We had it 2 hours after it was smuggled through customs.
The Decor Emerald. It's unbelievably beautiful.
That's what the other members of my little syndicate thought. I had no trouble separating them from 150 grand to buy it. It'll bring twice that, which means they'll get double their investment. If they were going to get it.
Came through?
Like trusting little lambs. Even my own partner, Omar. I'm getting away with $500,000.
But if they even have a suspicion that you're running out on them, they'll kill you, Jeff. They'll kill Bowles. You sure they don't suspect?
Not after I told them I'd engage Philo Vance to guard the emerald until it's sold. By the time they get wise, we'll be where they'll never find us. Any more questions?
Just one. You do mean it, don't you, Jeff? I mean about our being married and going away together?
Oh, I promised, didn't I?
You've promised before. This time you'd better go through with it.
Well, you think I'm planning to run out on you, too?
If you are, I'll know it, Jeff. I'll be a lot closer than you think.
Here are the boat tickets. You hold them. Now, are you satisfied I mean it? Is that proof enough for you?
Maybe it is, and maybe it isn't.
Stop worrying, will you? Now, you go get your stuff ready. I'll pick you up in the morning at 6:30 sharp. Yes, that's right. Passage for one to South America. Seat 6 on the 12 o'clock flight. What time does that get me into Bogota? Fine. Send that ticket right over by special messenger.
Glad you dropped in anyway, Mr. Vance. Hope you enjoy your holiday while you're here in the West.
Thanks. If I could be of any help to you...
I think I'm quite capable of handling anything that arises, thank you.
Of course, I just thought that...
Give my regards to District Attorney Markham when you get back east. Willits, bring in the file on the Deming case.
Have it right here, Mr. Mason. Ernie, my boy, that was really a brush-off.
Yeah. If you didn't want to see her, why'd you have your secretary phone you? She certainly said I should tell you to come right over.
I guess he thought I might try to steal some of his thunder. Which is okay with me. I'm out of here for a rest anyway. Come on.
Oh, Messiah. Philo Vance.
Lorian March. My favorite actress.
Oh, one of my nicest surprises ever.
And one of my most colorful ones.
Oh, you didn't know it, but I almost fell in love with you in New York 2 years ago.
Wouldn't have done you any good. You know me, Lorian. Oh, this is Ernie Clark.
I'm his assistant.
How do you do? Well, what in the world are you doing in Los Angeles?
Covering studio parties, clam bakes, taffy pulls. For a slight extra fee, I wash hats, overcoats, and wives. But what do you want with a district attorney that I can't do for you?
Nothing. Where can we talk?
Well, how about my place?
Perfect.
Come on, Ernie. Now that we're nice and cozy, Cherub, what's it all about?
Well, you know from New York what a struggle I've had trying to get any place in show business.
That's one I never could solve. You certainly have everything.
Everything but luck. In desperation, I came to Hollywood and met a man, Oliver Tennant.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, nothing like that. He's years older. He just likes me and thinks enough of me to star me in a show. It opens next week, and if it clicks, goes on to Broadway.
Sounds like your big chance.
It is, but I'm afraid Oliver has done something foolish that may ruin everything. And I'm not going to be cheated out of it again. Ever hear of Jeffrey Connor?
Yes, I know him. He's a small-time operator. I hope your producer didn't...
No, but he did. Oliver needed some extra capital for the show, and Connor talked him into a deal to double his money.
Oh? What sort of a deal?
Well, all he'd tell me is that it has to do with buying an emerald. Several other people have put money in it. It's a little syndicate.
If I know Connor, the emerald was probably stolen, smuggled, or both.
But Connor is in the jewelry importing business with a Mr. O'Mara. It may be on the level. But Oliver has put in all his available cash, and if anything goes wrong, it's goodbye show.
So that's why you went to see the DA. What made you suspicious?
Well, Connor told the syndicate he'd hired you to guard the emerald. And I just didn't think you'd associate yourself with a person like Jeffrey Connor.
Smart girl.
I knew it. And if he lied about that, he may be lying about other things. Even be planning to run off with the money.
Ordinarily, I wouldn't touch a thing like this, Lorian. It's strictly the DA's business.
I was afraid of that.
If the DA gets a hold of it, Oliver's going to be in serious trouble. The show won't go on. I want you to have your chance.
Then you will look into it for me?
I'll kill two birds with one stone. I don't like characters like Connor using my name. And before the evening is out, he'll wish he hadn't. Do you have his address?
Oh, yes, I have it right here.
I'll only be with this character a few minutes.
Right.
You're covered, Mr. Reach. Hands over the load.
Oh, I know you. You're Jesse James's kid sister.
No, I ain't. I'm Pat Roberts. I live over the garage with my uncle. He's Mr. Connor's butler. And this ain't a gun, it's candy. See? Take it. It's an all-day sucker.
Thanks, Pat. I'll start on it the first thing in the morning.
Ted, what are you up to? You'll have to excuse my little niece, sir. She listens to too many of those whodunit programs on the radio.
I'm a whodunit fan myself. I want to see Mr. Connor. My name is Philo Vance.
Philo Vance!
Just a moment.
Philo Vance, what are you doing here?
I tried to stop him, sir.
It's all right, Roberts. Mr. Vance and I are old friends from back east.
That's one way of putting it.
You can lock up for the night, Roberts. I'll let Mr. Vance out. Shall we go into the study?
After you, old friend. I'll feel safer behind you.
Cigarette?
Thanks, I'll smoke my own.
Have a chair. It's your nickel, Vance. Start talking.
Let's get one thing straight, Connor. Why are you telling people that I'm working for you?
Who told you that?
It got around.
Let's have a drink.
You always travel first class, don't you, Jeff?
It's nicer that way. Hardball or straight?
Straight.
What did you really come here for, Vance? What's your angle?
No angle. I just don't like having my name kicked around. I'm funny that way.
Well, for any little embarrassment I may have caused you, $1,000.
What's your angle, Connor?
I'm going to trust you, Vance. I'm turning over a new leaf. Quitting the racket. Retiring.
Now I've heard everything.
I mean it. There's someone waiting for me in South America. Starting a new life, a clean one. But making the break isn't easy.
Some unfinished business?
Not that. I haven't been mixed up in a deal in months. But there's certain people think I know too much. They're threatening me. So I spread the rumor I'd engaged you to protect me. Now do you follow it?
A bit skeptically. What happened to your old girlfriend, Gigi Desmond, wasn't it?
I'm dealing her out. I'm sorry for her, but that's life. I'm flying tonight alone.
I don't suppose you have your plane ticket handy. American Airlines, Bogota, Colombia.
Plane leaves at midnight.
I wouldn't take that plane if I were you, Jeff.
Why not?
I don't think Oliver Tennant would like it.
So Tennant got wise and called you in, eh? How much do you know?
Enough to send you away, and it won't be to South America.
Don't move, Vance.
I won't. I'm quite comfortable, thank you.
You don't seem to realize, Vance, that I'm going to kill you.
You're a fool, Connor, but not that big a fool. The gas chamber's much too smelly for your fastidious taste.
So's the penitentiary.
And besides, it's bad form to commit murder in front of a witness. And there's someone behind the door drapes.
Nice try, Vance, but I'm not falling for it. You're going bye-bye right now.
One move and I'll trunk you.
Why, the butler, you idiot! I heard shots.
Yeah? Well, maybe you fired him. How do you get in this joint?
That's odd. One of the French doors is open.
Yeah, what am I waiting for? Come on, get in there.
Where's the light switch?
To your left.
Holy gravy. Boss, wake up.
He's dead. I must call the police. Is the murderer dead, too?
He's just out my conk on the head.
Operator, give me police.
He couldn't be the murderer.
Then they better not find his prints on that gun. I want to report a murder.
It's rather bad for you, Mr. Vance. I hope you can explain it.
Come on, Vance, talk.
Okay, Lieutenant. Ouch. But don't quote me.
No fingerprints on Mr. Vance's gun, Inspector. Not even his.
What?
The gun hasn't even been fired.
Huh? What are you trying to pull?
Look, while you're asking silly questions, the murderer's getting away.
Oh, sure.
I don't commit murders, Burke. I solve them.
But you still have to explain that.
Did you find a small envelope in his pocket?
We sure did. I suppose you can tell us what's in it.
Certainly. A ticket on a midnight plane for South America.
You didn't miss it by much. Only instead of one plane ticket, it's 2 boat tickets.
What?
And instead of South America, it's Southampton.
Are we free to leave, Inspector?
Your pal here can leave, but the DA will want to ask you some questions.
All right, I'll stick around. Ernie, get to Burbank before the plane leaves, and bring the person in seat 6 back to my place.
Right, boss.
You got a badge to flash?
Are you kidding?
Use your gun if you have to. You may be bringing in the murderer.
Oh, boy.
Here's that file on Mr. Connor you asked for. I had the most awful time finding it. It was at the very bottom of the pile.
Thank you, Willits.
You're welcome, sir. After all, that's what I get paid for.
You're going to wait here for Philo Vance.
I've told you practically everything I know.
Practically ain't enough, baby.
Whoever you are, I'll have you broken for this. I'll sue you for kidnapping and false arrest.
Ain't you forgetting to whom you're speaking to, lady? That's better. We great detectives have to concentrate. If you saw who committed the murder, why didn't you start yelling for the cops instead of running away?
I have a police record. It would have been my word against the murderers, and when I tell you who did it, you'll realize I wouldn't have had a chance in court. I'd have had to pay for the crime myself.
Oh, you know who the murderer is, huh?
Yes, but before I tell you, you've got to promise to protect me until after you've made the arrest.
You got my personal word, lady. Now, who was it? Come on. Nothing can happen to you while I'm protecting you. Who done it? Speak up. Holy gravy. Dead as a mackerel. I gotta call the cops. Police department. Hello, police? A dame has just been bumped off in Philo Vance's apartment. Now, I don't know who done it. There was nobody with her but me. What am I saying? Do you think I done it? I gotta get out of here. Excuse me. Where's the boss? Where's the boss?
Please, remember where you are. What boss?
Mr. Vance. Philo Vance.
He's in with Mr. Mason.
All right.
Just a moment. You can't go barging in. You're so hasty.
This is important.
You'll sit down and wait your turn. Stop acting like a picket and sit down. I know it sounds ridiculous, Vance, to suspect you of murder. Nevertheless, you were present when the crime was committed, and we have this check made out to you by the dead man. While I'm not going to hold you, I'm forced to investigate further.
Fair enough. If you can believe I shot Connor, then knocked myself out, and wiped the prints from my own gun.
You have a great deal on your side, Vance, but we can't overlook anyone until the murderer is apprehended.
Naturally. But as long as I'm implicated, I think it's only fair to give me a crack at it professionally. I'll not only clear myself, but I'll round up the killer for you.
Just like that, eh? Very well, I'll give you carte blanche. I'll even instruct my men not to interfere with you, and we'll see who'll solve this case first. I'll even add, and may the best man win.
Thanks, old man. I expect to.
Come on, boss. This is important. I was worried about you, boss. Thought maybe they were holding you.
Did you get the lady off the plane?
Yeah.
Where's she now?
Dead.
Dead.
She talked plenty. Said her and Connor was grabbing a boat for Europe. Or she thought they was, until she heard him telling you he was planning to take a powder on her.
What else did she say?
Well, as the murder ran out, she snatched Connor's plane ticket and left the boat tickets instead.
I hope she told you why. It'd help the case a lot.
Hmm.
The killer must have followed you to the airport and back here. Didn't you notice a car trailing him?
What could I notice with a hysterical dame bending my ear? Besides, maybe she killed Connor and was just alibis.
No, the shot came from the bedroom doorway, and she was on the other side of the room. Who else could have been in the house?
Well, Robert's the butler. Or maybe...
Or maybe you guys. You two are in a class by yourselves. You're always at the scene of the crime before it's committed.
We're psychic, Lieutenant. Born of the veil.
No fingerprints anywhere, Inspector, except theirs.
There are no footprints outside. I looked.
No prints, no murder gun, not even a car number. How am I supposed to solve crimes with a crystal ball?
I can get you one of those.
Shut up.
You better get some sleep, Ernie. If you gentlemen don't mind, I'll try to grab some shut-eye.
It'll be a pleasure. We'll try not to disturb you getting the body out.
As long as no one disturbs my body, I'll sleep. I'm dead.
You just gave me an idea, boss. The murderer might come after you tonight. I'll park here and protect you.
You think you can stay awake?
Are you kidding? Well, when I stand guard, I'm a regular watchdog.
We'll curl up in the corner, Pluto, but keep out of our way.
I'm unarmed. Please don't shoot.
Who are you? What do you want?
My name's Tennant. Oliver Tennant.
Oh, so you're Lorien March's angel. You'll pardon the informal attire, won't you? But I usually receive callers in the living room. It's not that I doubt your word, Mr. Tennant. All right, you can put your hands down and start explaining.
Mr. Vance, I'm desperate. Oh, not for myself, I assure you. For Lorien. Her career, her whole future's at stake.
This seems to be my night for late callers. Let's answer together, shall we?
I was afraid of this. Hello, Vance. Oliver, how could you have been so foolish? What did he do?
He just woke me, rearranging my room a bit.
I figured you'd try this. That's why I followed you.
I'm sorry, my dear.
Won't you sit down? I'm still trying to find out what Mr. Tennant wanted here.
Well, we heard about Mr. Connor's murder on the radio, and naturally we were terribly upset. Well, it means Oliver has lost his money, and I've lost my chance for stardom. I didn't tell Oliver about seeing you. I thought he might misunderstand.
I see. So you thought I had the emerald?
Connor said that you were guarding it.
I'm trying to help you and Lorien, and I still may be able to if you'll give me all the facts on the Connor deal.
I can't do that, Mr. Vance, without involving others. That might cost me my life. Of course, if it'll help Lorien. If there's a chance of saving the play,
There's a chance you'll be involved in a couple of murders. You'd better talk. Connor's girlfriend was killed in this very room less than 3 hours ago.
Oh, please, Oliver, you've got to talk.
Very well. What do you want to know?
Who were the others in the syndicate?
Well, there was a Mr. O'Mara, Connor's partner in a jewelry importing business. Guy Harkness, his wife Norma. He's sort of a racketeer, owns a nightclub. And Mrs. Tina Cromwell.
The society woman?
Long on social position and short on cash, as I understand it. Well, we chipped in a total of $150,000 to buy the Decour Emerald. It had been stolen in Holland and smuggled into this country.
I heard it was stolen.
I was foolish, of course, to get into it, but Connor assured me that I'd more than double my money in 2 weeks' time. The rest you know.
All except who the murderer is and what happened to the emerald. And a few minor things like that. Well, there's nothing more I can do till morning.
Is there anything we can do?
If there is, I'll get in touch with you.
You've been very sweet.
Thank you, Mr. Vance.
Good night.
it's you, boss. What are you doing up?
Up? I was just going out to buy Pluto some dog biscuits. I've got a watchdog now, you know. And who are you dreaming I was? Get off my chest.
Yeah. Help you. I wasn't really asleep, boss. I was just resting my eyes for a second. But you can see what I'd have done to anyone if they'd have stepped foot in this room.
Nice going, Ernie. But you better get some sleep. I can't bear the thought of you wearing yourself out like this for me.
Oh, think nothing of it, boss. It's worth it to me just to know I'm protecting you. Ain't you going back to bed?
Yeah, in a second. I want to write down a few names before I forget them. Ernie, first stop Connor's office. I want to see a certain Mr. O'Mara.
Okay, boss.
When that call came from the DA's secretary, didn't you say that she said the DA wanted to see me?
Yeah, boss. There was a dame I talked to.
I checked. The DA only has one secretary, Mr. Willits.
Well, then who was the dame I talked to?
I don't know. But whoever it was wanted me to see the DA. But why?
Well, it couldn't have had anything to do with the murders, because they hadn't been committed yet.
I have a feeling it had. When you drop me at Connor's, take this to Dr. Adler at the biochemical lab. I phoned him. He knows what to do with it.
Will do, boss.
Be reasonable, Mrs. Cromwell. It's not my fault Mr. Connor's dead.
You got me into this, didn't you? I told you yesterday that I wanted to back out.
No one could have foreseen this development. Accidents will happen.
Police aren't calling it an accident. What if they find out about me?
They won't if you keep quiet, and you'd better.
But what about my $25,000? That money didn't belong to me. It was entrusted to me as my niece's guardian. I'm not the wealthy person people think I am.
That's your worry, Mrs. Cromwell. It's my money I'm worried about.
How do I know you didn't kill Mr. Connor and steal the emerald? As his partner, you probably knew where it was.
You heard him say Philo Vance was guarding it. If I were you, I wouldn't accuse anyone, Mrs. Cromwell. I might tell that you went to Connor last night to try and get your money back, and when he wouldn't give it to you...
I didn't go. I only told you I might. But if you try to involve me in this, I'll...
You'll what? Kill me, too?
Why, you...
But we're only wasting time.
You'll pardon the intrusion, won't you? Mr. O'Mara?
Yes.
My name is Philo Vance. I'm working on the Jeffrey Connor murder.
Oh, I just remembered I'm late for that appointment.
Of course. I'll send the stones on approval, Mrs. Cromwell.
Thank you.
I'm hoping you can fill in some of the blanks in this case.
Mr. Vance, I'll do everything I can to help you clear it up. Jeffrey Connor was not only my partner, but my friend.
Oh, I almost needed your services, Mr. Vance. I lost my earring, but I found it right here by the door.
What were you saying, Mr. O'Mara?
I only know what I've read in the papers. I'm completely mystified and terribly upset.
I'm sure you are. But don't try to leave town. The DA might want to see you.
I tell you, I know nothing about Mr. Connor's affairs.
Oh, stop lying. We've known for years that Connor was a jewel thief, a confidence man, and a fence.
Really, sir? Then why didn't you arrest him?
There. Go back to your quarters and stay there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He's not telling all he knows.
Neither is the late Mr. Connor. He didn't leave us a scrap of evidence that would give us a clue to his killer.
My guess is he was skipping out because it was getting too hot for him around here.
Oh, Mr. Vance.
Hello, Robert.
The police are here.
You don't like the police, do you?
Frankly, no, sir. As Mr. Connor always said, they're a bit thick.
I wouldn't bet the family jewels on that. That is, if you have any jewels. I hope I'm not intruding. Oh, my mistake. It's only you.
Very funny.
What are you looking for? A secret staircase?
Look, the DA said we shouldn't interfere with you if you didn't interfere with us.
Good. Now let's see what you've undoubtedly overlooked. Mother, guide your son. This is something.
Oh, perfume. I'm crazy about perfume.
Well, we all have weaknesses. Connor's Fountain of Youth. Hair dye, stringent cream, vanishing cream, tissue cream. Hey, you're a connoisseur of perfume. What smell is this?
Goldenrod, me with hay fever. Let's get out of here.
Looks like Kilroy was here.
You see?
Is that you I smell, Burke?
I must have spilled some of Connor's perfume on me while I was investigating.
You smell like a chorus girl the day after Christmas. What is the police force coming to?
But she...
Go away. I might forget myself and kiss you.
Oh.
Mr. Tennant.
Alberto?
In this first act gown, Miss March will look wonderful. Just okay it, and I'll put it into work at once.
Alberto, I can't decide on this today.
But, Mr. Tennant, we've had a lot of delay.
Yes.
If you want these costumes, you better say so or they won't be ready.
Yes, I know. But we'll have to talk about it later, Alberto. Hello.
Oliver, dear, you look worried.
Oh, Alberto's been at me to okay your costumes. How in the world can I think about costumes? Oh, it's not myself I'm worried about, it's you. There's nothing I wouldn't do for you, darling. Nothing.
Oh, don't worry. It'll work out some way.
But how can we put on a show without money?
Oh, maybe I should forget about show business.
Oh, you're not serious.
Maybe I should marry and settle down.
Darling, you mean that?
Why... Well, let's wait and see how things work out first.
Lorian, I'm going to get that emerald. I still think Vance has it. I promised to give you a chance, and I'm determined that you shall have it.
Oliver, listen to me. Don't try it again. I'll go over and talk to Vance. I can handle him.
Lorian, what's going on between you two?
Oh, nothing. It's just that you've been so nice to me, darling, that, well, I'd like to do something for you for a change.
Looking for something in particular?
Just clues. They're like microbes. They're all around us, but we can't see them.
You mean you can't? I think Gigi Desmond killed Connor.
The emotional type kills on impulse. She wouldn't have planned it that way.
Okay, psychologist. Wait and see who's right.
Well, let's see how this case adds up.
Now I got Brent to contend with. This ain't no place for kids. Get out of here. Scram.
That's the butler's niece, Burke.
What did you do? Fall in the coal bin?
That stovepipe, I was trying to cook something for my darling.
She's one of us in a small way. She's a whodunit enthusiast.
That's very interesting. Now scram, and maybe we can find out who done it. Now what? We've searched every square inch of this dump.
Connor was skipping the country. I'm going to phone for a police car and have everything that Connor could have worn or carried out sent to the lab for ray analysis and microscopic inspection. You can tell your uncle we'll be out of here in an hour, for good.
You can't go with that suit on your face. Your uncle will skin you alive. I'll get it off for you.
Empty out all those bedroom drawers and closets, Burke, and pick up everything that's in sight, like that stuff on top of the dresser.
Right.
Little girls should always have clean faces. The secret of cream is using enough.
Headquarters? Inspector Ward at the Connor house. What? Yeah, I can't wait all day.
It's the second coat that does it. There we... Presto. New face.
I want a pickup car right away. I'm sending all of Connor's stuff over to the lab for analysis. All right, I'll hang on.
There. How does that feel?
Gee, wonderful, Mr. Vance. Thanks.
Better check that jar and towel, Burke. Take them along.
I ain't getting mixed up with that stuff again.
Take 'em. We can't afford to pass up anything.
You see what I mean? While I'm checking, I think I'll check up on you, just to be sure you ain't pulling a fast one.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat.
Dropped your handkerchief, Mr. Vance.
You have to eat a peck of dirt before you die.
Don't he trust you, Mr. Vance?
He thinks I'll get away with something right under his nose.
Shall I shoot him?
No! It's bad manners to point. Besides, he just acts like a bear.
What? Well, ask him if he can't pick up an emergency. I haven't got all day. The address is 198 Whitley Place, and tell him to hurry it up.
Clean as a whistle, Inspector.
Fine. Now, will you please go away and take little Annie Oakley with you? We've got work to do.
Come on, Pat.
Goodbye, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Who's the little doll? This is Pat Roberts. She's helping me solve the case. And this is Ernie Clark. He helps me, too.
You don't look like a detective.
Oh, that's the reason I'll be a good one. Nobody will ever suspect me of having any brains.
You'll sure be able to fool him, all right.
There's only one thing wrong. He doesn't have a gun.
Well, sure I do, boss.
Not a big one like Pat's. Why don't you let him borrow it for a while?
Oh, no.
Oh, come on.
No.
I'll let her keep it, boss. I don't want it.
Sure you do, Ernie. I tell you why he wants it, Pat. He wants to buy you a beautiful leather holster with a leather strap so you can wear it over your shoulder like a real detective.
Well, golly, why didn't you say so?
Come on, Ernie. Let's get downtown before the holster stores close. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Somebody went through this place like a cyclone. I want to see the DA about it. Meet me in the corner with a car. Quickly, please. Ah, you told a story. All right, start talking.
This is ridiculous. I'm not a criminal.
You're giving a pretty good imitation of one.
I was only trying to get back what that crook Connor stole from me.
You mean the Decor Emerald?
By rights, it's partly mine.
I see. And when you couldn't find it on his body or in his luggage last night, you thought I had it. Is that it?
You're crazy. I didn't kill Connor.
You'll have a hard time proving that. The test shows that the bullet came from your gun.
There won't be any test, John. Drop your rod. This isn't a corncob pipe I've got in your back.
And this ain't no fountain pen I got in yours, bud. Grab his heater, boss.
Nice going, Ernie.
Speaking of pipes, looks like I just got here in the nicotine.
All right, Harkness. You and your wife get over there.
So you know who I am, eh?
You're being modest. Every detective in the country knows your record.
Then we can skip the preliminaries. You've got the emerald, and I've got a market for it. As long as I have to, I'm willing to cut you in.
If Connor told you he gave it to me, you better get him on the Ouija board. He was kidding you.
Quit stalling. You've got the rock, and we want it.
We'll cut you in on a full third.
Very generous, but not at the risk of having your cute friends gunning for me.
What are you getting at?
I'll call a meeting of the syndicate. If everybody agrees to cut me in, I'll produce a stone. I don't have it, but I know where it is.
Do you think he's leveling, Guy? He's supposed to be above this kind of stuff.
He was supposed to be above working for Jeff Connor.
All private eyes are chiselers. Okay, Vance, you're in. When do we all get together and where? Maybe tomorrow. I'll let you know.
I can't see why we should let the others in.
Vance just told you he's got something. If we crossed him up, we wouldn't live a week. Connor found out, didn't he?
Sure, Connor did, but...
Shut up, you talk too much. How about our guns? I'll have them delivered to you. You don't think I'd be foolish enough to knock off the only guy who knows where that rock is, do you? I don't know how foolish you are, but I'll find out. By the way, do you mind giving me that skeleton key you used to get in? I've got a dozen of those, Vance. I suppose you have, but now I'll only have 11 to worry about. Very funny that French door was open after you locked it.
Is Mr. Vance? Philo, I thought you were going to call me.
I was about to. I have a lot of things to tell you.
Good, but couldn't you tell me while we're having dinner?
You see, Ernie, beautiful girls never call me unless they're hungry or thirsty. I'd love to, Lorian, but I'm due at the Masons right now for bridge and dinner.
Oh, bother the Masons.
With my brand of bridge, I probably shall. Ernie, weren't you about to go to the kitchen for something?
Huh? Yeah.
You're looking,
Oh, thank you. I wanted you to say that. Have we time for one little drink?
We'll take time. As a matter of fact, I'm bushed helping the police take Connor's house apart.
Did they find anything important?
No, in fact, they've given up out there. All through. Did Oliver call off the play?
Not yet. But he still thinks he can find the emerald and get his money back.
That idea seems to be quite popular.
He has another idea, too.
Oh?
That I may be falling in love with you.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't think so.
I'm scared, Philo.
Scared?
For you. When I read the headlines about Gigi Desmond, I just went cold all over. I'm sure she was killed because the murderer figured that she had the emerald. And now he thinks you have it.
So what?
Well, if he killed twice, he'll kill again. It mustn't be you. It just mustn't.
And to think I had you on my list of possible suspects.
Did you? And I thought you...
I said I did. But don't forget, some of our best murders have been committed by cute little girls.
Oh, well, I want to be on your list. But not that list.
Maybe we can arrange that after I've solved the case.
Why can't I help? And don't laugh. I have a little thing called feminine intuition that might come in mighty handy.
You've made yourself a deal. To my new assistant. It wouldn't hurt to seal it with a kiss, would it?
It might. But we can risk it.
Liked it anyway. You all right?
I think so.
Did you see who it was?
No, all I could see was the gun. But whoever it was isn't fooling.
Don't let that worry you. Neither am I. Hey, I'm due at the Masons right now.
Oh, do you think it's safe to leave?
He won't hang around after firing that shot.
I hope you're right. Oh, look at my lips. They're all smeared.
We'll fix that.
Thank you. You better not get me used to service like this. I might not be able to get along without it.
Maybe that's the general idea. Well, I'll see you to your car. Ernie, would you make coffee and a couple of sandwiches? Then we're going back to Connor's.
Expecting something to happen tonight, boss?
With the police gone, the murderer should come back to look for the emerald. We'll be the reception committee. Cover that mirror.
Right. How are you doing? How am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. Well,
got us covered. Now what? We wait. No matter what happens, don't move. Right, boss? Shoot. All right, take that bullet out of the wall and meet me at my place.
Stop pacing.
Oh, I knew I should have handled things myself. But no, you had to go to Vance, and where has it got us?
If I've heard that once, I've heard it 1,000 times.
You know what I think?
No, what?
I think he's working with the DA and using you to get evidence against the syndicate.
Don't be absurd. Vance is doing the best he can. But with 2 murders and the police everywhere, he's got to act slowly.
Well, I don't trust him. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
There's somebody out there. Open the window.
What do you want?
Must have slipped by you, Bert.
I know Philo Vance in the dark, Inspector. He didn't get by me.
We can't tell the DA he gave us the slip. Maybe he ducked down the alley. Come on.
What's wrong?
Nothing. The DA's men are tailing me, that's all.
Now, do you believe he's playing square with us?
What are they after you for?
First, answer your question for me. What's going on around here?
Oliver called the playoff this morning.
Well, what's the use? You'll have to turn me over eventually anyway for my part in that emerald deal.
If you'd play ball, Mr. Tennant, things might not be as black as they look.
Mr. Vance, I'll do anything.
And tell the others in the syndicate that I'm ready to do business.
What do you mean?
I found the emerald.
You?
What? Found it? Where?
In the last place that anyone would look, so I left it there. Tell them to meet me at Connor's house at midnight.
But why?
I'll have the stone with me then.
And then when you produce it, the murderer will give himself away.
Exactly.
Oh, but you're setting yourself up as a clay pigeon. It's too great a risk.
I know, but I'm willing to try. And bring your revolver with you.
I don't own one, Mr. Vance. I'm afraid of them.
Well, I'll try and dig one up anyway. And another thing. Tell the others to park 2 blocks from the house and come in by the French doors. Is that clear?
Yes. Oh. Nerves. A chap when I get upset.
Can't you wait and have lunch with us?
I'm sorry, but I have a lot of things to do. Well, I'll see you tonight.
Am I the first?
Gloria, you weren't supposed to come tonight.
I thought you might need a guardian angel. Besides, I'm your assistant, remember?
This won't be fun. There may be shooting and...
Please, darling. I'll hide when they start arriving. If you think I'm going to let you risk your life without being around to help, you don't know little Larian.
Good evening, Mr. Tennant.
Lorian, what are you doing here?
With you two risking your lives, you didn't think I could stay away, did you?
Did you notify the others?
Yes, everyone.
Oh, make yourselves comfortable. I'll dig up some of Connor's very excellent liquor.
Celebrating something?
We'll celebrate later.
Scotch?
Nothing for me to drink, thanks.
No for me, thank you.
I wonder what's keeping the others.
They'll be here. Give them time.
Thought I heard something outside. Guess I'm just getting jittery.
You don't think they might be planning to ambush us, do you?
As long as they don't know where the emerald is, we're safe. If they ever find out... Did you get hold of a gun?
No, I wasn't able to find one.
There's somebody at that door.
What are you doing here?
Someone woke me up, sneaking up the driveway.
So you decided to do a little hawk showing on your own, is that it? Now, everything's under control. You run along and forget that you saw anyone here.
I can't see them very well.
Well, they're just people. Now, you run along to bed. Hello? Who? Oh, Mrs. Cromwell.
This ain't Mrs. Cromwell, boss. This is Ernie. Remember you told me to call you at 10 after?
Yes, Mrs. Cromwell.
Quit kidding, boss.
We were expecting you at 12 o'clock.
You didn't expect me at no time. And since when do I sound like a dame? This is Ernie.
No, I'm not bluffing, Mrs. Cromwell. I'll produce it the moment everyone arrives. You'll all be right over? I'll be waiting.
Will you cut it out, boss?
They're up to something. We've got to get out of here fast. They'll be here any second.
Wait, you don't mean the emerald is...
That's right. Knee deep in cold cream. The police couldn't find it, neither could the murderer. Pretty clever, huh?
Too bad you weren't as clever, Vance.
Oliver, you're mad.
Put up your hands. I knew you were wise, Vance, as soon as you answered that telephone call. I told nobody about this meeting.
You fell into my trap, though.
This is going to be a two-way split, Vance, just as you and Lorian planned it. Only I'm taking your place. I know what's been going on between you two.
You'll never get away with it, Tenant.
Maybe not. But at least you'll never take Lorian away from me.
Nice shooting, Cherub. But your hand is shaking. Better give me that gun before you shoot yourself.
I never thought I could kill anyone, even to save you.
Neither did Oliver. Otherwise, he'd never given you such a swell chance to grab the emerald for yourself and pin the murders on him at the same time.
You're joking, aren't you?
The party's over, beautiful. I'm charging you with the murders of Jeff Connor, Gigi Desmond, and now Oliver Tennant.
You what? I can't believe you're saying this. I'm in love with you, Philo. I'm telling you the truth. You've got to believe me.
I first suspected you when you phoned me posing as a DA's secretary. His secretary's a man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When you met me in the DA's office, it was a plan to establish an alibi before the crime. You timed it so that I'd stop you before you got to see him, which proves premeditation.
You fascinate me. And what was my next mistake?
Letting me trick you into shooting at me when I surprised you here last night?
I never saw this house before.
Lies won't help. The person who fired that shot had lips that glowed in the dark.
Sounds like black magic.
After I kissed you last night, the lipstick I gave you was a duplicate of yours, treated with monocalcium phosphate.
What's that?
Phosphorus. And the test showed that the bullet came from the murder weapon.
You're going to feel awfully silly when you check that automatic of Oliver's and find it killed both Connor and Gigi.
That's the only really clever thing you did, giving Oliver the murder weapon before you shot him.
I believe you really do think I'm guilty.
I don't think you intended to commit murder, but after killing twice, the third time was easy.
I only did it to keep him from killing you with the same gun he used on the others.
Oliver Tennant never fired that gun in his life.
Well, then how could he have shot at us through your window last evening?
I forgot to tell you. They arrested the other members of the syndicate this afternoon, and O'Mara admitted that he fired those shots to frighten me off the case. You almost concocted the perfect crime, beautiful, but you forgot to teach Oliver the fundamentals of firearms. You see, he was trying to fire that automatic with a safety catch on.
What?
No jury in the world would believe that a two-time killer would make a mistake like that.
Okay, Mr. Detective. You win. Or do you? Raise your hands. Sorry, Vance. This wasn't the way you meant it to end, was it? I really could have gone for you. Oh, well. We can't have everything, can we? So, I'll just take this. This will only hurt for a second.
You're wasting your time. And besides, your score is high enough. I didn't want you to make it 4.
Oh!
Who's that? Lorian March. Stop or I'll shoot.
Let me go. You've got no right to hold me.
Okay, Bert. Lock her up.
Look, all she was trying to get away with was this jar of goldenrod. Hush!
Ain't Dame Staffy.
Take her away. And tell the DA you've got the murderer.
The murder? Holy gravy. Miss March? You see, boss, you can never tell what these cute dames will do.
That's right. Ernie, that was nice work. You certainly timed it right.
That was nothing, boss. When you mistook me for Mrs. Cromwell on the phone, I knew something was wrong. So I called Bert. Him and me come over in a police car. Oh, I wish that kind of stuff would quit happening around here. My neck's getting tired.
Oh, boy. What a night. You know who did it now, I bet you.
Pat, what are you doing up? I told you to stay in bed.
I'm going, Mr. Vance. Only you never did give me back my glass pistol.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat. Ernie, make the presentation.
With pleasure. What a prize dope I felt like carrying this thing around. And the boss wouldn't let me take it off. Supposing somebody to saw me with it. That's all I'd need.
Not so fast. I'd like to have one of those candies first. The green one.
And I've been carrying that thing around on my arm. Holy gravy. With giblets.
You take a candy, too.
Thanks, kid. Yeah. Well, looks like an Irish diamond.
An Irish diamond?
Yeah, an Irish diamond. A sham rock. Well, don't you get it? Irish diamond. Sham rock. She didn't like that.
I guess not. You better stick to detecting, Ernie.
Say, boss, how'd you find out that Lorian Marsh was the murderer?
I told her the tenant was trying to fire the gun at me with a safety catch on, which proves he wasn't the murderer and she was.
Hey, that's pretty slick. Let's say that tenant must have been an awful dope. Oh, is this the gat?
Ernie, you know better than to touch things before the police arrive.
Well, ain't you touched it, boss?
Certainly not.
But the safety catch ain't on.
I know. It never was.
You're right, boss.